Welcome to Space Matrix. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more updates. A new U.S. airbase in the Philippines is making waves across the Pacific, drawing attention from governments, analysts, and ordinary citizens alike. This development is more than just a headline. It's a sign of changing times in a region where every move is closely watched. This isn't just about military construction, it's about shifting alliances and rising tensions. The base represents a new chapter in the long and complex relationship between the United States and the Philippines, and it's sending ripples through the entire region. The base sits near the South China Sea, a hotspot for territorial disputes where overlapping claims have led to years of diplomatic standoffs and occasional confrontations. Control of these waters means access to vital shipping lanes, rich fishing grounds, and potential energy reserves. Washington, Manila, and Beijing are all watching closely, each calculating their next move. Every decision here could tip the balance of power in unpredictable ways. The U.S. is signaling its commitment to Asia, strengthening old alliances and forging new ones. Meanwhile, the Philippines is choosing its partners carefully, weighing the benefits and risks of closer ties with Washington. The timing is no accident. Tensions with China have been rising for years, fueled by disputes over territory, trade, and influence. Protests and diplomatic spats have become more frequent, reflecting the growing unease. China's growing power and sweeping claims over the South China Sea have alarmed its neighbors, who worry about the future of their own sovereignty and security. The presence of Chinese Navy ships is a constant reminder of the stakes involved. The Philippines, feeling the pressure from all sides, is turning to the U.S. for support. Joint military exercises and increased cooperation are meant to send a clear message: they are not alone. This move is a bold message to Beijing. The U.S. is here to stay, and it's ready to defend its interests and those of its allies. The new base could stabilize the region by deterring aggression, or it could make things even more complicated, raising the risk of misunderstandings and conflict. It's a real-life chess game, with high stakes for everyone involved. Every move is strategic, every alliance carefully considered, and every action watched by the world. The decisions made now will shape Asia's future for decades to come, influencing not just governments but the lives of millions. This base is more than concrete and steel. It's a symbol of a changing world, where old certainties are fading and new realities are taking shape. We'll explore why this is happening, how countries are reacting, and what it means for the region. The story is complex, with many voices and perspectives. The story of this airbase is the story of our time, a tale of ambition, rivalry, and the search for security in an uncertain world. As the world watches, the balance of power in Asia is shifting, and the consequences will be felt far beyond these shores. The next moves will define the future of the Pacific. Let's dive in and see what's at stake. The U.S. isn't building a base from scratch, it's upgrading Basa Air Base on Luzon, the Philippines' largest and most populous island. This is a site with a long history, now entering a new era. This isn't a takeover, it's a partnership built on trust and shared interests. Both nations are working side by side, strengthening their alliance. New runways, expanded fuel storage, and modern troop housing are being added to support larger operations and more personnel. The base's location, just west of Manila and facing the South China Sea, is no accident. It's a strategic point for projecting power and responding quickly to regional challenges. From here, U.S. jets and surveillance planes can reach key areas in minutes, providing rapid response and intelligence-gathering capabilities. The base will support both air and maritime operations, acting as a forward station for the U.S. and the Philippines, and enhancing their ability to work together. American forces will rotate through, not stay permanently, allowing flexibility, regular joint training, and a constant exchange of expertise between the two militaries. The upgrades are significant: longer runways for larger aircraft, advanced radar for better surveillance, and secure communications to coordinate complex missions. Basa is becoming a high-tech hub for U.S. air power in a critical region, equipped with the latest technology to meet modern threats. The goal is clear: defend Philippine territory, keep vital sea lanes open, and ensure freedom of navigation for all. This is a serious investment in a long-term alliance, signaling commitment and shared responsibility for regional security. It's about readiness, deterrence, and seamless cooperation, preparing for any scenario together. Two allies, one mission: stability and peace in the South China Sea, where tensions often run high. The transformation of Basa Air Base is a game-changer, reshaping the balance of power and deepening the U.S.-Philippine partnership for years to come. The U.S. and the Philippines are united by a shared concern: China's assertiveness in the South China Sea. China claims almost the entire sea, clashing with its neighbors and blocking Filipino boats. The Philippines, with a smaller military, needs a strong partner. For the U.S., this alliance is key to keeping the Indo-Pacific open and free. The new base at Basa is a clear sign of commitment. This cooperation is built on the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA. EDCA lets the U.S. build facilities and pre-position equipment at Philippine bases. The goal: modernize the Philippine military and boost joint response to threats. U.S. forces at Basa are meant to deter aggression, raising the cost for any hostile move. For the Philippines, it's insurance. For the U.S., it's a way to support an ally without a massive permanent presence. Together, they hope to prevent conflict before it starts. Not everyone in the Philippines is on board with the new U.S. base. Many welcome American support against China, seeing it as protection. But others worry it makes the Philippines a target, and too dependent on the U.S. Critics recall past problems with large U.S. bases and call for more independence. In China, the reaction is fierce. Beijing sees the base as a direct threat and a move to contain its rise. Chinese officials and media accuse the U.S. of stirring up trouble and interfering in regional affairs. Many Chinese view the Philippines as a pawn in a bigger game. The result: rising nationalism, mistrust, and more tension across the region. The new base is deepening divides, not just between governments, but among people. The U.S.-Philippines relationship stretches back more than 100 years, shaped by war, alliance, and shifting power. From the earliest days, the two nations have been bound by a complex mix of friendship, conflict, and cooperation, with each era bringing new challenges and opportunities. After World War II, the Philippines gained its independence, but the deep ties with the United States remained strong. The two countries continued to work closely together, forging a partnership that would influence the region for decades to come. For decades, massive U.S. military bases like Clark and Subic Bay anchored American power in the Pacific, serving as strategic hubs for both defense and diplomacy in Asia. These bases brought thousands of jobs and economic activity, but also sparked protests and growing calls for true Philippine sovereignty, as many Filipinos questioned the long-term presence of foreign troops on their soil. In 1991, after intense debate, the Philippine Senate voted to end the U.S. base agreement. American forces packed up and left, marking the end of an era and a major shift in the alliance. The alliance cooled, but it never disappeared. Military cooperation continued, though on a smaller scale, as both nations navigated a changing world. Now, China's rapid rise and growing presence in the South China Sea have changed the equation, creating new security concerns for the Philippines and the region. The Philippines, once eager for U.S. troops to leave, now welcomes them back, but this time, under new terms, and with a renewed sense of purpose. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, isn't about massive U.S.-owned bases anymore. Instead, it's about shared facilities, joint training, and closer cooperation to meet today's challenges together. Old friends are finding new reasons to work together, building trust and adapting to a rapidly changing world. The alliance has evolved, shaped by a century of shared history, shifting priorities, and the realities of a new era in the Indo-Pacific. The choices made today are deeply rooted in a long, complex past, one that continues to influence decisions and relationships in the present. The story of Basa Airbase is just the latest chapter in this ongoing partnership, as the U.S. and the Philippines look to the future together. China's concerns over the new U.S. base run deep. Basa Airbase is close to the South China Sea and Taiwan, areas Beijing considers vital. U.S. aircraft from Basa can monitor Chinese movements and support allies quickly. For China, this feels like encirclement by a chain of U.S. allies and bases. The base strengthens that chain, undermining China's sense of security. Politically, China has tried to pull Southeast Asia closer through trade and investment. The Philippines' move toward the U.S. is a setback for Beijing's strategy. Other regional countries are watching. If this works for Manila, they might follow. China fears a growing network of U.S. alliances aimed at balancing its power. The stakes for Beijing are high, and the response could shape the region's future. What happens next is uncertain. The new U.S. base could deter China and bring stability, or it could escalate tensions. China might respond with more military activity or economic pressure on the Philippines. Manila faces a tough balancing act: security from the U.S. but economic ties with China. The risk of miscalculation is real, and the region remains on edge. The future of the South China Sea is unwritten. The new base at Basa is a pivotal move, forcing all sides to rethink their strategies. The coming years will reveal if this leads to peace or more conflict. The world is watching as leaders in Washington, Manila, and Beijing navigate this tense moment. The fate of the region, and its peace, hangs in the balance.